Welcome back, everyone. We're back again with Boston United on a journey through Premier League football and beyond. In the last episode, we played against who was it? It was Burnley, and we just went through some transfer stuff. We ended up losing 2-1 to Burnley, which kind of sucked. Rian scored, and Breham, Ibrahimi, and Iwobi scored for Burnley. We kind of went through a rough patch in January. The team wasn't really performing well enough for me. After we made some signings, we actually brought in a couple more players since we last met. And we sold off one more. We ended up selling Josh Buller went out. I think he might have left when you guys were here, or it might just be before the episode occurred. And we also sold we sold Ian Ryan to Tottenham for 20 million. He was on about 50k a week and around that. I was probably going to offload him in the summer anyway, so we got an offer for 20 million, probably double what he's actually worth. If I click into him now, it'd probably say like 22. Yeah, 22. But looking at him, he seems more of like a 10 to 15 million pound player. We bought him for 10 or so, and it just seemed like a good deal all around. I wanted to get rid of him eventually, and he wasn't fitting my style, and he was conceding a lot of goals. So I decided to offload him. We got a good offer, and I brought in a replacement in Jack Butland just for the end of the season. He's also retiring at the end of the year, but Jack Butland, I think in his actual goalkeeping abilities, he's actually better. He's just like physically declining, and he's already got picked up one injury already, but we're not going to play him pretty much. So he's 6'5", so if we need him, he can do a job, but he's not going to be here. And he's only on 20k. When he was at Tottenham, he was on like 120, so surprising. But yeah, so that's the only transfers we made since then. And when we last met, Fiete Arp, he didn't actually score in his debut, but he played 7 games and he's currently on 8 goals. He's been an absolute goal machine. It's been so good. We've also tweaked the formation just a slight bit, just because we've also picked up a heap of injuries. Go to medical center. We currently have, if it'll load, we currently have Zimmerman out he's out for about 3 months. Karen's out for about 3 months. Rion, we've played a good few amount of games since we last met, but he was out for about 2.5 months to 3 months. It's just been injuries galore, so, and Arp actually picked up an injury as well. It was just surprising. In those few games, he scored like 8 goals. I think he scored a hat-trick in one game, but then we played about, I think, 10 games or so in the last, since we last met, and he's got 8 goals, which is unbelievable. But since then, since the Burnley game, we played Sunderland in the FA Cup 4th round. 1-1 draw, wasn't great. Fiete Arp opened his score sheet for us. They just shut up shop and we could not break them down. We also went forward to back again, having issues, and I just felt like teams were exposing us too much. And I felt like we weren't doing enough damage further up the pitch, which is where we were really dangerous. Went to Man City, another kind of similar situation. We actually held out fairly well, but they just ended up, I think they had something like 30 shots in the game. About 20 shots, but looking at it, like, it was a fairly even game. They just got that one goal and they kind of took it away from us, so we couldn't really compete with them after that. And I think I was playing on counter for a bit and we just couldn't break them down. Then went to Chelsea at home, got a 1-1 draw, which is pretty easy. And Chelsea, I believe at the moment, are 2nd or 3rd. If the Premier Division will load up, they're 1st actually at the moment, 1st. So it's pretty decent result going up against them. I was kind of hoping we could do a job on Man City, but Man City are a weird team. Like, their top is like world beating, but their defense is a bit of a shambles, and their midfield's a bit of a shambles as well. But that being said, like, they have like a 100 million pound player beside like a 50 million pound player beside a 25 million pound player, and the team just doesn't blend well for whatever reason. I don't know if it's maybe that we're too physical or whatever, but we just seem to always get something against them or play decently enough against them. Then we went to then this is where I ended up, because we had such a bad run of form. I was like, we're getting figured out, and we need to change it up. And all of our formations are fairly similar. It's almost a 3-man midfield with a back 4 and 1 striker and 2 wingers. So I opted to go for a 3 at the back and to play Matos as preferred role, ball playing defender on cover. Actually, I'll show you guys. If we go to tactics, it shouldn't work, but it does, because we're playing Matos in his preferred role, Fructo in his preferred role. We're doing a gegenpress, which is like we're basically have our players push the whole way up the pitch, and our strikers are right on the back line. Marino and Shaw both as stoppers, and I was thinking this actually probably suits them so much better, because they'll initially, as soon as danger comes in, they'll go out towards the ball. So they'll move in. So they're not going to be looking for headers. They're going to be looking for tackles and intercepting the ball and marking players, winning it back with physicality, pace, and strength, which is what both of them have in abundance. They're not great aerially. That's where we're playing Matos as the ball playing on cover. So he'll kind of sit behind the two of them and just pick up any through balls or header away any headers, pick it up and redistribute it back to the wide centre backs or further up the wingers. And that's where this team gets a little bit interesting, because before we're playing Rion here, and Rion, I think he got 3 or 4 assists in a couple of games and a few goals, and his link and play was just so good. He just kept kind of drifting in towards this cam area, and we'd had Simic and Harper kind of pull out, and it was a weird way. I don't know how it was working, but it almost changed to like a diamond of sorts, but it worked really well. At the moment, we're playing Navarro there. He's a little more defensive for my liking. I've played Borner there a couple times, but he picked up a knock there a while ago. So I would play Borner there, but the last game Navarro played actually did pretty well, so we'll keep him out there. Simic, I've been alternating Simic and Hagnu. I prefer Simic for the physicality a little bit more. Harper is also in there. He's just an absolute brute of a man, and he's on really good form. He's been picking up goals and assists left and right. Salinvade's similar. It's surprising. Excuse me. I would naturally probably play Janssen there just for his physicality. Janssen's not really suited to that role, but for whatever really, Salinvade is absolutely dogged as all hell and wins the ball back an awful lot. So he's actually really well suited for this role, and he wins the ball back a fair bit, which is surprising looking at his stats. I suppose he does have 15 aggression actually. His tackling is not too bad. Marking is okay, so like they're all relatively decent. So he's not too bad, and he's not the biggest guy, but he's good strength and balance for his size. And then before Arp picked up an injury, we were going with a front three, and I was playing Sakura on a complete forward support, but I'm thinking I might change up to a deep lying forward, just so he interlinks with the midfield a little bit more. That's what I want a bit. And between Arp and Prison, they have an absolute goal machine. As soon as I changed this formation, we smashed, if I go back to the fixtures, we smashed Sunderland 5-0, where, I'll show the scores. Prison scored 4 and Arp scored 1. Prison was just a goal machine that game. Then we went to FC Salzburg, and I was thinking, oh, we're fucked. We've immediately conceded after 25 minutes. And then Arp decided to turn it on, got a hat-trick, and Harper scored, which came out of nowhere. And this was one of the more annoying things. I was thinking about doing the first game, but then there was so much of a gap between the first leg and the second leg. It's almost a month. It's like 3 weeks. It's ridiculous how much of a gap there was. But so we bet them 4-1. So over the course of 2 games, playing 3 at the back for the first time, our aggregate score was like 9-1, which is ridiculous. Then went to Everton, bet them 2-1. Arp scored again, Harper got on the score sheet. And that's where Rian picked up his knock. He got injured. Arp also picked up a niggling injury, and he was out for about 2 weeks. I think it was a shoulder or a hamstring kind of thing. Then went to Wolves. Wolves bet them 2-0. Pridgeon scored again, and Sylvan Hefty got an own goal. But we pretty much dominated him for the entire game. Then went to Arsenal. And I believe the Arsenal game was a weird one. Yeah, Arsenal, we absolutely dominated them, but we lost 2-1. Go figure. 8 shots on target, did 6. We got FM essentially. But we just performed out of our skin. Like Marino played 7.5 and we lost 2-1. Doesn't make any sense. Then went to Crystal Palace and smashed them 3-1. Once again, they opened up the score sheet, and then we came back. Sakura, Harper, and Arp all scored. Well, Arp came off the bench around this, I want to say 70th, 80th minute, and got the penalty. He initially was on the bench because he was still carrying a bit of a niggling injury from what he picked up against Wolves. But like, he's ridiculous. He's on an absolute blinder at the moment. So hopefully we can do some damage today. If we can beat Man United would be great, and I imagine we're probably going to go through. If we somehow get knocked out at this stage against Salzburg, that would be surprising as all hell. But Sikora also picked up a few goals, which is really good. He was going for a while without being on the score sheet, and the same for Bridget. So like all three of our strikers are about between around 10 goals. I think Bridget's Arp's on about 9 or 10. 8, Sikora's on 11, and Bridget's on 9. So considering that Arp came in less than 10 games ago and he's played about 6, that's ridiculous. And Bridget scored 4 in one game, so Lincoln play's been more impressive than the goal scoring actually. But regardless, let's get into this and see if we can get a result. After all this hype, hopefully we don't get absolutely smashed. I wouldn't be surprised because this United team is absolutely ridiculous. Like they sold their best player for like 100 and something million, and then they just replaced him with like another 100 and something million player. Like this Rodrigo guy is still ridiculous. 68 million, and I think his 8 goals last season he had something like 25 or something. I think maybe the season before 19, 12. Oh no, it's this one. Yeah, 27 goals from left wing is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, we are the underdogs, but there to the fans of performance to cheer for. And I have faith in you. La-di-da-di-da. 150th appearance. That's surprising. I didn't think he'd be here that long. He's one of those players that I signed, and I didn't think I thought he'd be like a 2 or 3 season kind of player. He might be like he'd probably stay with the club for the rest of his career. Although there's been a couple of times we've almost sold him, so it's a bit of a weird one. Especially he almost left to join Leeds when they matched his buyout clause and we had to remove it. It was like 25 million at the time, which then was ridiculous because he was valued about 35, 40 million. I think he's still in around that price mark. Yeah, 37. Simic is up there as well now, I think. No, he's 19, but he's still only 20 years old, which is ridiculous. This team is so bloody young. We've got the odd, like, older players in around with like Arp, Harper, and speak of the devil, Rodrigo scores. We have Arp, Matos, Harper, I suppose Fructal, all these older players that kind of deliver and prop up the younger players. Because like if you like, I only realized the other day that Sikora is only 19. I thought he was like 20, 21. But he still has so much of a ceiling to go up through. Then we have Boateng on the bench. Zimmerman, actually, he's around 24, 25 now, I think. Don't do it again. Jesus Christ, we're only like 2 minutes into the game. Okay. I guess we're going to go balanced against them because they have so much of the ball. Maybe I have to go cautious. Shouts. Encourage. They'll probably get pissed off, but they might be able to pull something out their ass. Because it's still relatively early enough in the game that we could still pull it back. If it was like in the 40th, 50th minute, I think we'd be dead in the water. And there's one thing I've always been doing. I've been immediately focusing on the right. It just seems to work with this team for whatever goddamn reason. If you just focus down one side, it just works. Because I always used to play to the back post, and I find that for whatever reason, Pridgeon tends to drift over to the left, and Arp tends to drift into the right channel a lot, and they just kind of link up in between there, and Sikora kind of just drops into almost like a further centre mid, or cam even, and just links it perfectly. Okay. Harper's on 6.4, which isn't great. I'll keep him out there for a moment. If not, we might bring on Hilarme just for his injection of pace and nimbleness on the ball. See if he can kind of create something out of nothing. But it's not going too bad. Probably wasn't smart to play possessive at Old Trafford, but we could have maybe got something out of it. But I don't know. Wasn't a great throw by Marino. Don't know how that didn't go in. Jesus. Speak of the devil, he scores again. Daniel Brazil scores for him. Again, Sakura is not doing too good, so we'll bring on Boateng for him. I'll leave Pridgen on because Pridgen always just seems to get a goal. We'll bring on Borner for Navarro, and we make a further change. I think we might bring Ethan Laird on for Marino. I'm going to trust in Harper, and I think he'll be able to pull it out. I think once we get a little more pace out there, he might be able to do something for us. Tactics. Yeah, keep it as is. Actually, we'll drop Boateng into the hole and see if he can just link up a little bit more. And get Harper maybe onto box-to-box midfielder. That might be good. He's a little more than just be up and down the entire game. And we're 3-0 down, so we might as well go for the goal. See if we can focus on this and get some out of it. Got a bit of a German contingent in our squad now. I just bring on, no, that's Arp. That's Rosandro Warner brought him down, and I just brought him on. And of course, it's a penalty, and Rodrigo scores and gets a hat trick today. Of course, for fuck's sake. Oh, you can't write this shit. Although I suppose this is what I get for going for a three at the back against arguably the best team in the league. Like, they are, without a shadow of the doubt, the best team in the league, but they just don't seem to fucking get up there. Like, their team is so well rounded. Like, Leeuwenberg. 66 million, he's 24. Oh, Boateng close. Like, their team is stupid. S. Mohammed, 45. Brazil, 70 million. Rodrigo. This team is so bloody good. I know Man City arguably have a more expensive team, but like in terms of goal scoring numbers, like their team tends to have around, I'd say like probably 6 to 7 players that are always on around 15 to 20 goals, while Man City just rely on Mbappe to get about 20-30 goals. But then their overall goal scoring for the season will probably be about 70 to 80. So Mbappe is like massive for them. If he gets injured, like they're fucked. But Man United just gets goals from everywhere. They're so well rounded. Then Rodrigo gets a goddamn hat-trick. They have Proper as well. I forgot about him. 80 million. He's probably one of the best strikers in the game. Oh, he's a winger, although they play him as striker the whole time. He's been everywhere. And he's 6'4". Oh my god. And oh yeah, that Julian Thomas guy that I tried to get on loan a while ago. He's ridiculously good. Ooh, and Simic almost scored. A few clubs actually came in for Simic. Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, a few of the German clubs. I think Bayern were in for him as well. I'm amazed he didn't demand to leave. I just basically just rejected all the offers, and he didn't want to come into the office. So I was kind of surprised by that. I was expecting just like him to come in, just like, I want to leave, I want to go to a better club, blah 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 blah. But don't know. I guess he just seemed one of the more rational players at the club. God damn it, 4-0, oh my god. Far from pleased. I think Laird might leave at the end of the season as well. It's hard to tell. He keeps asking to want to be played more, but whenever I play him, he plays crap, and I bring on Janssen, and Janssen does an amazing job. So Francis Reed is injured. It's one appearance away. We have to pay Inter 1.5 million, which is peanuts at the moment. Considering if we beat Salzburg, I think we'd get about 5 or 6 million. But yeah, sure, I'll bring us back for the Salzburg game. See you guys in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. We're back for the Salzburg game. I just tweaked the team slightly, keeping it the same formation as before. I'm thinking I'm just going to keep going with it and not screw around with the formation too much. I decided to drop Salenve for Janssen today, just for that defensive reliability out there. Actually, could change him to a defensive winger, but doesn't really change much. I'm going to start Borner over Navarro today, just because Navarro didn't have a particularly great game, and Hielerme over Simic, just to keep everyone fresh. I'm going to keep the back back four the same. Also going to put Sakura back to the complete forward support. See if the team just plays better with that role, but we'll see anyways. But hopefully we get the result today, because we really need it. We're leading 4-1, so all we really need is score 1 goal, and we should be fine, because then they have to score 4. That being said, United just bet us 4-0, so you never know. But yeah, let's get into this. Teo Bridge will take the armband. Okay, that's grand. Teo's a bit of a journeyman for us. Well, not really. He's only been here like 3 or 4 years now, so don't know. Also have Dickinson on the bench out of all players, which is surprising. And then they have Josh Tiemann. I think it's Tiemann. I'm not sure. Could be a player to look at and potentially as a signing. He's actually looks pretty decent. We'll get another scout report. Haven't scouted him since last October, so that might be a bit construed. But if he looks good, he might be our new signing in the summer. Because I think next season will be our last season with the club, regardless of whatever happens. Just because it's getting to that point where FM19 is becoming a bit stale for me, and I want to just do one more thing before then. I was thinking maybe doing a One Nation challenge, like Belgium, France, something like that, or might even just scrap off FM19 for like next month or so, or less than a month or whatever, how long till FM20 comes out. I'm gonna have to actually pre-order it, so then I'll have it ready to go in, is it October, I think. But yeah, so, and if you guys want me to do any particular team to as my beta save, let me know and we can look into it. Okay, off the good so far. Arps on the wing, whip it in. Don't know how we didn't score there. Sakura gets some amount of chances and he just hits the bar so often, which is a little bit frustrating. Harper picked up a foul. I'm going to leave him there because I think he can actually do a pretty decent job. I know the coaches are telling us to play to his strengths, but he's so quick and physical that like he plays wingback anyway, so like it's not that much of a difference between wingback and winger. Changes stop them from crossing so much, but should be fine. We're getting chances anyways, which is the main thing. And Franca is a bit. It looks like he picked up a knock or something. Josh Tiemann. I hope he doesn't really have a crappy game, because if he starts to be kind of crappy, I'm going to tell him to focus on him. Although he's looking a bit fatigued, that might be the best option right now. We'll focus down. Where is he? Josh Tiemann. Let's press on a bit more. Let's see if we can press Garincha as well. Stefan Janssen picked up the yellow card. Not ideal, but leave him out there for another bit. Getting chances at least, which is the main thing. It's a bloody quiet game, but not the worst thing to have. I'm very happy things are going to keep it up. Before we were like 3 or 4-1 up, but hopefully now we can pick up something. I think before they played a 4-3-3 against us, so they're trying to win the midfield battle. But I think when we have 4 and then 3 strikers pinging them back, it's not likely to happen. Jeez, we've had 2 chances where we really should have scored, and they just cleared it off the line essentially. I'll give him a shout and tell him to get creative. Wasn't a great pass by Harper, but he's trying to distribute along. Sakura wins it back out to Arp, to Prigent, hits the post, and back out again. I was going to say hopefully now they can recycle it and do something good, but just highlight ended there. Prigent has not been doing too good. He's getting chances, but just not bearing them. I think I might throw him Boateng for him, and we'll throw him in the hole, maybe get him a little more creative rather than attacking the whole time. And I think I just throw on Salamve for Janssen, and we make it. I think that'll be it for the moment. On the text, wait for that to go through. Yes. There's a core across. Boateng as a attacking midfielder on support. Yeah, that should do. And yeah, after that. I would rather a result at home, but I'll take the 4-1 away. But since I want to get a goal at least, I don't want a 0-0 draw. Because if that's the case, they might have figured out, the teams might have started beginning to figure out this formation, and it's like, okay, I guess we should get a goal or maybe change it up. I'll keep going at it for another couple of weeks, and if I find we're getting not the results we might default back to the 4-2-3-1, which would probably throw teams off their toes again. Which I was thinking actually playing this today or for this game. What's the other score there? Encourage. They might get pissed off. They're frustrated now. Of course, that's what happens when you try to encourage a team to score a goal. But whatevs. It doesn't look likely, but we're going to lose this game. So bring on Hagnew and get him on as deep line playmaker. Support. Or we'll get him on defend, and we'll throw on Hielerme on his preferred role in attack. Get him out there, do his thing. I assume that's that. The build-up seems very slow with this. Okay, Arp got on the wing. Out to Sakura. Jeez, oh, finally got a goal. Finally. Hit the crossbar, don't know how many goddamn times. Salambe with 6 goals this season. He picks up a fair few goals for us if we really need one. He doesn't really get them in a route. But jeez, Hielerme had time on the ball. Oh my god. I'm thinking next season that's when majority of all of our young players are going to be start getting English homegrown citizenship thing. So that's going to be actually really handy. Well, actually for the following season, which we are going to do a 5 years in the future kind of thing, or maybe 10 years depending on what you guys want to see. 5 year probably for the best, just because 10 year could be a massive overhaul. Because our team would be starting to hit their peak at 10 years or 5 years. I mean, sorry. What? Oh, we picked up a knock. Fuck. Don't be broken. Don't be broken. With no more subs, we can't even take him. We can't take him. We have to take him off. But bring Sakura across on for attack. Hopefully that's just like a pull, something pulled, but more than likely that's probably a broken ankle more than likely, which is frustrating as all hell. Well, that's a good win for us. 5-1 aggregate scoreline, which is what we need just to boost our goal tally for the entire season. When the first round knockout, geez, 8.5. I didn't think it was gonna be that much. I thought it'd be like 5 or 6. Now, don't be broken. Don't be broken. It probably is broken. Twist ankle. 3 to 4 weeks. Jesus. I tore my bloody ligaments in my ankle. I was only out for like 4 weeks. Jesus. He only twisted his. Oh god. So we will come back for the. Might do Huddersfield the quarterfinal game. It's surprising we're already in the quarterfinal. My main aim for this season, I'd love to get to the semis. It's unlikely, I know, but I think we could probably do it if we get the right teams. But I think pretty much everyone bar Salzburg were like title contenders, so it's unlikely that we'll get past whoever we get in the quarterfinals. But yeah, so the next game we'll do Huddersfield and whoever we get. But unless they show it soon. Oh yeah, it's tomorrow, so no, it's not tomorrow. It's probably on Friday. We'll see if it pops up anyways. See whoever we get. I imagine it'd probably be the Friday. Fred Harp is out. But yeah, actually no, we'll jump ahead to whoever we get. But yeah, she'll end it there. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.